Hey you YouTubers and knife nuts, New Jersey Devil Tactical, bringing you another knife review this evening. Tonight we're going to be reviewing the Benchmade 581 Barrage. I had the opportunity to do an unboxing with this knife earlier this week, and I also had the opportunity I've been carrying this knife since the unboxing ever since, and I gotta say it's an excellent knife to carry, and it's a fantastic knife. Let me give you some specifications, get that shit out of the way. As we know, this is a spring assisted knife. It's a G10 handle and aluminum, and it is the access lock. You can get this knife in other different styles, different handles, and so there's other options there. It's a reversible pocket clip, tip up carry. The blade is the new M390 Super Steel with a Rockwell harness from 60 to 62, and it is an Osborne design. Now I will get back to you on my opinions on this new Super Steel. There's a lot to talk about with that. The blade length is 3.60. In the background, you're going to hear my pugs running around. The little one is called Carly, and I have another pug, which is a black one, that's Penny. So you hear me hollering Carly or Penny, you'll know what that shit is. So you'll hear you'll hear her bell around her neck, rattling back and forth, and I apologize for that, but you can't shoot dogs in the state of New Jersey, and I wouldn't anyway. I love them to death. So back to the review. The blade thickness is 0.121, and the overall length of this knife is 8.35, and closed it's 4.75, and the handle thickness is 0.65, and the total weight is 5.2 ounces. So I guess nothing fancy be having a fucking a conniption over that shit. You know what I mean? I don't know. He does say if the knife gives you more than the 4 ounces, it's worth it. And I gotta say, this knife gives you a lot more ounce for ounce than a lot of other knives out there. So alright, so like I said, I was able to carry this knife. Excuse me, I'm gonna light my cigarette. For the last 4 days. It carries in the pocket really well. Very little is hanging out of your pocket. As you see, you got that little bit. And that's one of the reasons I have a lanyard on there. I don't know about you, but I got these big fucking hands. And grabbing that little tip out of my pocket, and this belt clip here really holds that knife in there. So, having the lanyard there really helps me with addressing getting that knife out of the pocket. So that's why I have lanyards on a lot of my knives. And let me tell you, there's pros and cons on lanyards. A lot of times the lanyard gets in the way with the opening and closing of the blade. So, that's just the way it is. Sometimes it's a pain in the ass, but you got to deal with it if you want to get the knife out of your pocket. So, alright, so like I was saying, carries very well in my pocket. The weight of 5.2 ounces was no big deal for me. Having the knife being a little thicker than usually my other knives I carry was a little hindrance, but like I say, just a little hindrance. It was no big deal, and I'm not complaining about that at all. I don't know about you, but I like a beefy knife. I like a knife that I can stick in the fist of my hand, and I know I got something in my hand. I know it's there and it's not going anywhere. So, no complaints about the carry. Now here's the bitch. The new M390 Super Steel. Fantastic shit. Great shit. Until you go to sharpen the fucking thing. Let me tell you, I used that Spyderco Sharp Maker. That fucking M390 steel was laughing at that fucking thing. Because I'll tell you, Benchmade knives suck when they first come in as far as sharpening. You know, they need to get their shit together, Benchmade. I don't know what their problem is, but man, they got to get like Spyderco. When you get a Spyderco knife in, that blade has some bite to it. It's shaven hair sharp. Benchmade knives aren't when they come in. They're not shaven sharp. They're shaven shit is what I call them. So, that's the problem. So I tried using this Spyderco sharp maker on this knife, and I started all the way at the bottom, using the brown rods, and then, a certain amount of strokes on each one, then the white ones. And I even have the ultra fine rods too, the third set of rods. Didn't matter. It didn't matter. This fucking steel just laughed at those rods. So, if you're going to get one of these knives, you better have another way of sharpening it. You better have somebody to sharpen that knife, or some way to sharpen it rather than a sharp maker. I am fortunate enough I have a knife vendor in my area that I'm able to take my blades to and have them sharpened professionally. A lot of people don't have that option. So I don't care what kind of sharpener out there. This new steel is a bitch to sharpen. So let's get that shit out of the way. And back to Benchmade. Fucking Benchmade, get your shit together. I've been getting Benchmades for a year, no change. No change. I'll tell you, when you look at a Benchmade blade, and I'll show you, and it looks like there's hardly any edge on that shit. I don't know. It's like the grind goes right down to the bottom. It's just a tiny little edge on there. It's just wrong. You pay all this money for a good knife, and you ain't got a good edge. So super steel or not super steel. They tell you the truth, I haven't found a steel out there yet that matches what the CPM S30V as far as sharpening, hardness, durability. S30V is still, my opinion, much better than the M390, and the reason for that is because you can sharpen it. So other than that, it's a fantastic, great knife. I don't know about you. I love Benchmade still. I just wish they get their shit together as far as the sharpening. Do it right. Don't half-ass a knife. So that's generally the review. Would I recommend this knife to be bought by you guys? Absolutely. Absolutely. Go get yourself one of these. These are first production. There's only 1,000 of them right now, and I'm lucky to have number 250 out of 1,000. And these things are costly. This knife will run you about $175 plus tax, and then shipping. So you're gonna put out some money, and that's my bitch. You put out all that money, and you ain't got a shaven sharp edge from factory. Fucking Benchmade. So, I did my little rant and rave about Benchmade, and I give you my opinion on the knife. On the scale of 1 to 10, what would I give this knife? I give this knife, after you get it sharpened, I would give it a 9.5. From the factory, I give it an 8. So, the only suggestion I would give you guys is, if you get this knife, and as soon as you get it in, strop it. Strop the knife. That helps it greatly. Get yourself a nice strop and strop your knife, and that'll improve the edge from the factory edge. You'll get a much better edge than you did from the factory. So, it's another suggestion. So, alright guys, it's been a pleasure to bring you this video. It's been a pleasure to give you my opinion of this knife. And so, here comes my pugs again. So, that's just about it. So, please subscribe. Leave your comment on the bottom. In the comment box. Where that shit is down there. And Tell me if you have one of these. Tell me your opinion on sharpening it. Tell me your opinion of what you think about the knife. And keep coming back. I'm going to have a lot more reviews, and I'll give you a little close-up here. I'll give you a little more close-up. You know, I'm not going to keep opening and closing the knife. If you want to do that, go fucking buy one, you know. So I'll give you a couple more close-ups here, people. See if I can get you a little macro here or some shit. So that's about it. So that's it for me, New Jersey Devil Tactical. Out of here. Have yourself a good one. I'll see you on the next review. Goodbye.